Welcome to the Cyclical CEO podcast, where we redefine what it means to scale a business without sacrificing your soul. I'm Camille Lalande, your guide to stepping into your CEO throne with systems, strategy, and sovereignty. If you're an ambitious woman who's built a successful business but feels trapped in the grind, in the hustle, this podcast is for you. Here we talk about scaling in flow, building a business that fuels your heart and your soul, and reclaiming the queen energy you were meant to embody. Let's break free from burnout and fall back in love with your business. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Today's episode is the part 2 of episode number 7 around seasons. So you are not behind, you're just in a season. And the fastest way to scale and to move forward in your business is to actually take a step back and to stop fighting the phase you're in. So the question I want to ask you today is, what if you're not behind at all? What if you're exactly where you need to be? What if you're not failing, you're not stuck, you're not broken? You're simply in the wrong season for the action you're trying to take at the moment. In today's episode, I'm going to show you exactly what are the symptoms, how does it feel like, how does it look like when you are in each season of your life, of your business, of yourself. And you'll also come to understand why fighting against it, fighting against the season that you're in is keeping you burnt out and out of alignment. And my goal by the end of today's episode is that you leave this podcast with clarity, with practical tools, and ways forward, no matter what phase you are in. And to begin today's episode, I just want to start with a big piece that impacts all of these seasons and us women not trusting our intuition, our body, our feelings, what we know at the end of the day, we know is what we're supposed to be doing. There's a big part that comes from comparison, from looking at your sisters, at the women in business in your field, at the community, at the people that you surround yourself with, and thinking that you're not doing as good as them. And thinking, well, they are doing that, so I should be doing that too. They are launching a new program, I should be too. But this is the biggest mistake you can do, because no matter how much you compare yourself and you try to walk at the speed of someone else, and you don't know, first of all, what's going on in their life. Maybe they're disrespecting their body along the way. Maybe they're sleep deprived. Maybe they're skipping meals. You don't know how they are managing to keep the pace that they are having. So the number one step is really to come back to yourself. This is going to be the biggest key in today's teachings and today's episode, is coming back to you. Because today we're not talking about the seasons of life and the seasons in general, like winter, summer, fall, and spring, even though they do relate and there is a connection to what we're going to talk about. But we really are talking about our inner seasons. And that lies in the capacity to fully trust yourself and listen to your gut, listen to your heart, listen to your body, and mute the external noise. So as I explained in episode number 7, to do a quick throwback and recap, I have gone through 2 months of intense renovations at home and a move, changing place, and it ripped my root and really messed up my whole routine. And we are influenced by nature's seasons. So obviously in the summer, I felt like being out there and enjoying the time outside and putting myself out there and working on my business and having programs and doing like the other coaches online. But my reality and my inner season was that because of all this emotionally and physically draining experience that I went through with renovations and a move, what my body, what my gut, what my heart wanted and wanted me to understand was that I needed to rest and to really come back to the basics and regulate my nervous system, remove any stimulation from my life like caffeine and whatnot, and go back to good, healthy habits and routine. And obviously, if you look at the external world, this is not what nature was about this summer. Nature in the summer is about, being fully blossomed and being seen and being edgy and just exposing ourselves and reaping the fruits and the benefits of what we've planted in the winter. And this brings me to say that if you are feeling lazy, if you are feeling unmotivated or inconsistent, I want you to reframe this and maybe ask yourself, maybe I'm not lazy, maybe I'm not unmotivated or inconsistent. Maybe I'm just trying to live in a season that I am not supposed to be living in right now. And that by doing so, you are actually being in resistance. You are not following the law of least resistance. You are flowing against nature and you are flowing against your own cyclicity and your own needs. So, next, I want to guide you through the 4 seasons of business and of your life. And yes, they do tie in to nature and they have the same aspects of nature's cycles, but they can live inside of you, not attached to nature's cycles. They have their own independent rhythm. So let's begin by winter, which is literally where everything begins, technically speaking. So winter is all about rest, foundation. If you want to link it to the feminine cycle, it is linked to the phase of the menstrual cycle, the bleed. Your energy level is lower. You're more in a reflective state inwards, and your body is asking for a pause. And if you look at nature, you'll notice that everything is at a pause, everything is resting. Animals are hibernating, the plants are dormant, and they will not grow until some more months later down some new season. The symptoms you might be experiencing in the winter is the guilt for resting, brain fog, exhaustion. And the lesson here is nervous system recalibration and integration, making yourself feel safe and at home again in your own body and life. If you are unable to sit down on a chair or in your couch watching TV or getting your nails done or working on something and feeling that your body is rested and relaxed and that your muscles are not tensed, this might be a sign that you need to listen to your body's need to go into winter season. And so the tangible tip for this season is to schedule stillness in your days, in your week, in your months, and stop trying to sprint with everything. Plan moments to go for walks, to go sit in the sun, to just have a moment with yourself. When you're working and you feel the tension rising up in your body, take conscious breaths. You can use the box breath technique. It's a technique that's really easy, quick, and simple to use, and it really helps you bring yourself back to your center. The next season is spring. Spring is the season of expansion and action. If we link it to the feminine cycle, it is the follicular phase. The energy in this season is fresh, creative, vibrant. It inspires new beginnings. It's a rebirth, literally. And you notice it once again in nature. In spring, plants are blossoming again. There's little buds that grow everywhere. Animals start getting out of hibernation, and life really comes back. The symptoms that you might feel in this season of your life is inspiration. You're full of ideas. There's a desire to move quickly, to try new things, to put yourself out there. There's really that rebirth energy into the air. The lesson behind the season is to plant seeds and initiate projects. So if you are in this season and you're feeling this energy, what you can do to channel your energy properly in a healthy way is to start initiating new things and put yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit more. Be on edge. Do things that normally would scare you. Do things that your old self wouldn't have done, because you will never get something you've never had by doing something you've always done. You have to do things you've never done to have things you've never had. And so the tangible tip here is to pick one new action and channel your energy there. It could be a new step to your routine. It could be a new class, taking dance classes, if that's something that takes you out of your comfort zone. The next season is the season of summer. The energy behind that season is breakthrough and visibility. And if you want to compare it to your feminine cycle, it's ovulation, the phase of ovulation. So the energy during that season is very magnetic, very sensual as well, visible, abundant. You want to be seen, you want to be out there, you want the world to notice you. The symptoms are recognition, opportunities, and people being drawn into you. And again, the symptoms here are very important because we're not talking about this is how you should feel in the summer. No, these are the symptoms for your inner seasons. So how to spot your inner season. If you are feeling recognition, if you are feeling opportunities, if you are feeling people drawn into you, you are feeling vibrant, visible, and abundant, you are in your inner summer. Even if you're in winter, it could be that you have an inner summer. And so the tangible tips for that summer season is to book the interview, launch the offer, go live, take action, be out there, make yourself be seen. The lesson is to share, to be seen, and to say yes to opportunities. And our last season, 4 of 4, is fall. The energy of fall is reflection and refinement. Also, pruning is a word I like to use for this season. If you want to compare it once again to your feminine cycle and phases, this would correspond to luteal phase. And so the energy behind fall is discerning, analytical, boundary focused, and it's really about fine-tuning and tweaking the identity that you've been creating yourself for the year and the past months of your life. The symptoms that will tell you if you're in your fall season is noticing flaws in yourself, in others, feeling irritable, and the desire to tweak, to prune, and edit. Basically, this is like you wanting to create the 2.0 version of yourself, but you're only at the phase where you are trimming and letting go instead of creating and adding more to. The lesson here is to clean up, to optimize, and prepare for the winter. The tangible tip I have for you for that season is to audit your systems, your boundaries, your energy leaks, and clean things in your life. You might even be losing friendships, relationships in that phase of your life, in that season. There might be breakups, friendship breakups, client breakups, and this is normal because you are learning to respect yourself to another new level and depth. And the big lesson here, and what I would love for you to remember from this episode, if there's one thing you can remember, is that you do not grow mangoes in the winter. You do not hibernate in the summer. Flow comes when you honor your inner seasons. And yes, of course, you can pay attention to nature seasons and respect the flow that it wants you to go through. But even more so, respect your inner season. Make abstraction of what is happening around you in other people's lives. They are on their own journey. They know where they are going. You are on your own journey, and you know where you are going. And you know better than anyone else what you need to be doing right now. And you know, in all honesty, how you are feeling. And chaos only comes when you resist it. Allow yourself to feel all the feels. Allow yourself to go through all of your seasons. It's exactly the same thing as emotions. There is no good or bad emotions. There is a full spectrum of emotions, just like there is a full spectrum of seasons. Winter is not necessarily bad. Even if you don't like snow and you're in Canada, your inner winter actually holds a lot of gifts for yourself. And the same goes for your menstrual cycle. And the lesson here is to really welcome, without judgment and only observation, and self-love and self-care in a healthy way, all of your inner seasons. And to help you integrate today's episode, I've prepared for you some little journaling prompts that I would like you to reflect on. So the first question is, what season am I in right now in my body? Based on the symptoms that we've looked at together, in what seasons do you think that you currently are? In what season are you in your business? In your relationships? And step number 2 is going to choose one supportive action aligned with that season and commit to it this week. And the little bonus reflection I want to share with you is, where am I forcing myself into a season I'm not in? Where are you bypassing the inner work you have to do with the current season that your body is hinting you with the symptoms that you are currently in? And I want to reassure you that the beauty in this work, the beauty and the magic in this medicine is that the more you will listen to yourself, the more you will be attuned to your body, to its symptoms, to its language, the more you will practice the homework and the tools and the tips and the things that can help you navigate each season without bypassing, the faster and the easier you will flow through these seasons. This is truly the beauty of this work. And on that note, I would love to invite you to the Systems Queen Telegram channel 2.0, which is a free experience of 19 days on Telegram with possibility of upgrading yourself to the hot seats for a weekly Zoom call with me, where you'll be able to ask your in real time live questions in the group. This experience is completely wild. The last time that I did it last year, it was a real success. People loved it. It was 14 days and now I've upgraded it to 19 days. Every day you're receiving a free transmission, a download, something that's going to help you systemize your life as the queen that you are. If you're liking what we're talking about on this podcast, this is going to be an incredible experience for you. 19 days of content every single day with an email recap of the content every day and possibility to join on Zoom, as I mentioned. This experience is completely free. If you want to join, click the link in the description and sign up now. We're starting October 1st, but there will be surprises for the people that sign up early. So stay tuned. You won't want to miss this. Click the link in the description. And for next episode, we'll explore why your body always leads first and how a tense, unsafe soma doesn't just affect how you feel, but literally shapes the circumstances of your life. If you've ever wondered why you keep attracting the same patterns, relationships, or opportunities, episode number 9 will change the way that you see your body forever.